bienvenidos a su programa de su casa, su futuro. Esta vez vamos a estar hablando con un invitado muy especial, el abogado Matthew Wildermuth, a quien estaremos entrevistando el día de hoy, haciéndole todas las preguntas que ustedes nos han mandado sobre lo que es el proceso de embargo. Llamen al teléfono que está en pantalla, tomen ese papel, ese lápiz para que puedan pedir su consulta completamente gratuita. Y bueno, vamos a comenzar con la serie de preguntas para el abogado Matthew.
Este mensaje es para usted que tiene Medicare. ¿Está usted confundido con los cambios recientes en Medicare? ¿Le preocupa que los beneficios son menos, el deductible y su seguro incrementan y ya no puede con los altos costos de sus medicinas? Llame a Carolina Puente, agente certificada en planes de Medicare, 773-273-8178. Ella le asesorará a elegir un plan dentro de Medicare que se ajuste a sus necesidades. Carolina Puente le demostrará que sí hay opciones. Llame al área 773-273-8178. Una vez más, área 773-273-8178.
Claro que sí, Javier. Soy Carolina Puente, agente certificada en planes de Medicare y le espero en mi oficina. Llame, haga una cita.
Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Soy Alex Catalán. Si usted ha recibido una amenaza por parte de su banco que puede ser desalojado de su propiedad, si de alguna manera ha sufrido una disminución en su ingreso, si su casa necesita reparaciones y no puede refinanciar porque su casa no tiene el valor que necesita para cubrir su préstamo, este mensaje es para usted. En Illinois, más de una familia de 1,000 empiezan un proceso de embargo debido a que ya no pueden continuar con los pagos de su casa. Es importante que usted sepa que un proceso de embargo tiene pasos a seguir y deben de respetarse bajo la ley. Nosotros le vamos a ofrecer toda la información que usted necesita referente a las reestructuraciones de préstamo y una defensa de embargo. Las consultas son completamente gratuitas, 24 horas, 7 días a la semana de información. Llame ya. Usted necesita ayuda y nosotros se la vamos a ofrecer. Llame ya.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos nuevamente a su segmento de su casa, su futuro. Esta vez hemos regresado con nuestro invitado estrella. Una gran persona, un gran ser humano que para mí es un privilegio tener aquí, el abogado Matthew Wildermuth. Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí. Él nos va a estar hablando de temas muy importantes sobre lo que tiene que ver el proceso de embargo. El abogado Matthew Wildermuth cuenta con más de 20 años de experiencia en el mercado de bienes y raíces. Eso es su enfoque principal, así que cualquier pregunta que usted tenga, recuerde visitarnos en nuestras redes sociales de Facebook, Su Casa, Su Futuro, y con muchísimo gusto pasaremos sus preguntas al abogado Matthew Wildermuth para que pueda él contestarle. Y obviamente si usted quiere hacer una cita gratuita, recuerde llamar al teléfono que está en pantalla. Bueno, abogado Matthew Wildermuth, bienvenido. Por favor,
Gracias.
Para todos nuestros televidentes, díganos un poco más sobre su experiencia a detalle y por qué ha decidido usted entrar en el mercado de bienes y raíces.
Well, I've been practicing as an attorney in the Chicago area since 1989. I've done principally some kind of litigation, which means it's work that is actually in the court in front of the judge against another opponent who's trying to win for their client. So it's a very competitive area, it's a very challenging area. I've represented a number of different kinds of clients. I've done everything from representing an individual in a criminal matter for possession and basically taking away from her workplace drugs that she was a pharmacy assistant, taking them out and selling them on the street, to being involved in settling $100 million insurance disputes among construction companies and hotels and other things. So in the process, I've come across a lot of issues, a lot of individual, family, and homeowner experiences where they just don't know what the answers are. They don't really know where to start. So when the whole mortgage meltdown started in about 2007, I had by that time started my own firm, and I was asked to start preparing articles for one of the largest research services that attorneys use to prepare papers on the mortgage situation, evaluating what the mortgage holders had done, how they created this new kind of security that hadn't existed before, and to write an expert article on that for them. And from there, then calls started coming in from other lawyers saying, I have a client who's got an issue. Is this something that you do? And I started doing it from that standpoint in about 2007, early 2008. And that has become a focus of what I do because there's a demand for it. People don't know what they don't know about the process. They don't know, when a sheriff comes and hands them a summons, okay, what's next? What does that mean? What kind of time do they have? What are their options? So we can handle that even when we're just in a situation where the person is behind or about to get behind, and start walking them through all of their options.
Ok, bueno, ya podemos escuchar toda la experiencia que tiene el abogado Matthew Wildermuth. En este caso, quisiéramos preguntarle al abogado Matthew Wildermuth cuál es la diferencia entre el abogado Matthew Wildermuth o las oficinas del abogado Matthew Wildermuth a otras compañías que se dedican a todo lo que son defensa de embargo y modificaciones.
Well, the one thing about my having practiced in a number of different areas and been familiar with a number of practice issues that individuals face, we can address the problem in a way that is most effective for the homeowner. If, frequently what happens if you go to a bankruptcy attorney, because that is their specialty, they will often propose a bankruptcy solution. If you go to someone who only works on trying to get a workout with the lender, they will propose that you try and go through the workout process. If you only do foreclosure defense or representing them in court, then you're going to recommend to your client that they fight it in court and see how long they can keep that fight going until perhaps their situation changes. We do all of that. We can do every bit of it, from even just reviewing the documents from a loan that closes tomorrow, all the way through the foreclosure process. And because we don't have a bias or a stake in pushing one type of solution over another, we can talk to the client about what objectives they have, what they think they want to do, what the consequences would be of going one route versus another, and that allows us to basically tailor what we do to what the client wants.
Bueno, ya pudimos escuchar que esto es un servicio completo, como ya nos los explica el abogado Matthew Wildermuth. Él tiene experiencia en diferentes áreas y no solamente se enfoca en una solución para el propietario de casa. En este caso, él nos explica que, como ya lo pudieron ustedes escuchar, él cuenta con diferente experiencia y sobre todo con un equipo completo que se dedicará a explorar no solamente una opción, sino varias opciones, y usted decidirá cuál es la mejor salida para usted. Bueno, continuamos con las preguntas. Señor abogado Matthew Wildermuth, quisiera que nos dijera usted cuáles son las dificultades que un propietario de casa pudiese encontrar al momento de tratar de representarse solos en corte.
Well, there are two things. One is, for many borrowers, they may not have English as their first language. All of the proceedings in the court will be done in English. There's special terminology that is used. There's certain phrases, words that have special meaning in the foreclosure context. And, usually the Only way to make sure, that you are understanding everything that's going on is to either have your own representative there, or to, ask the court to schedule to have an interpreter present. That's difficult from a timing standpoint because there are 10 different courtrooms on the 28th floor of the Daly Center in Cook County that are handling foreclosure calls every day. There's a limited number of interpreters who are available, and you can't book them by appointment. You have to roll the dice as to whether they're going to be available. The courts will not let someone come in and speak for you who is not a lawyer. So you've either got to do the talking yourself or you've got to wait for an interpreter. So it can be very time consuming. The other thing is that this is a specialized area. Even other lawyers where English and law is their first language, they don't know what certain documents mean. They don't know what certain procedures are intended to do to be able to protect against the lender just coming in and taking the house. In a situation where someone gets a summons and they don't do anything about it, it can be as early as 7 months for the lender to basically be in a position to take the house and have it go up, for a foreclosure sale. In that same case, if we're involved because we know the system, we know the judges, we know the lawyers on the other side, we know, what we can do, that initial period for us would be something, and any homeowner we're representing, something closer to 18 months before they're at risk of the home going to sale, if we start from the very beginning. So, just as a matter of having the most possible time to address the problem, to try and get a workout if that's what they want, to get back on their feet, get a new job, get a better job, get some other way of developing income. It's better to have more time than less time and not have to be worrying about, do they have to show up at court? Do they have, are they going to miss something? We get all the information electronically directly from the court. We've got a direct connection with every one of the lawyers who represents the banks. So, we're not going to miss a trick. We're not going to miss something. We're going to know what something is the minute it hits my desk.
Definitivamente esto es información muy, muy importante. No hay nada mejor que usted tener su propia representación legal. Ya lo escuchó usted por medio del abogado Matthew Wildermuth, quien nos vino a explicar hoy en día la importancia de usted tener su propio abogado, quien le pueda explicar al juez su situación, si usted ya se encuentra en un proceso de embargo o si usted ya ha dejado de pagar su casa. Queremos preguntarle en este caso al abogado Matthew Wildermuth, ¿cuál es el mensaje para todos ustedes que quisiera él compartir directamente?
Well, the mediation process in Circuit Court of Cook County was set up in, I believe it was 2010, as a way to try and provide a means of borrower being able to communicate directly with the lender or a lender's representative if there was an opportunity to try and get an early solution that would take it out of the foreclosure process.
Let me interrupt you for a minute. Para todos los que no saben, el abogado Matthew Wildermuth quiere compartir el mensaje sobre lo que está pasando en el condado de Cook para los programas de mediación que han sido parados por completo, así que escuchemos esta información. Please go ahead.
I mentioned Cook County in particular because that is the most populous county and has the most lawsuits pending in foreclosure at any given time. And anyone who has tried to communicate directly with their lender knows how difficult it is to try and get, the same person on the phone when you call back. Your call gets routed to, who knows what city, who knows what service center. So getting a conversation going where, you're both talking about the same loan and the same situation and your income documentation and all of that, it's very hard to accomplish with any consistency. So the mediation program was designed to at least put someone who could speak for the bank in the room with the borrower or the borrower's attorney, so that if there was a way to find a solution that could, stop the foreclosure early, they have a chance to explore that and actually communicate and have a real discussion about it. Unfortunately, with all of the budget things that have happened in Illinois, right now that program in Cook County is on hold, and that means that one method, one path of borrowers getting communication with their lender is now uncertain. So we like the mediation process, we use the mediation process, but if the mediation process is not going to be back in play for another couple months, you really need somebody on your side who knows how to communicate with the lenders, get answers, get your case moving forward, so that you have a real discussion. And I'm pretty certain that of the other counties that currently have a mediation program, those are going to be probably slowed down or stopped in like Kendall, Kane, Lake, some of the other counties that currently have those kinds of programs.
Bueno, pues como ya pueden ustedes escuchar todo lo que está pasando en este momento con el estado de Illinois y lo que es la corte, por favor pidan ayuda, marquen ese teléfono que está en pantalla. No olviden que el abogado Matthew Wildermuth puede estar aquí en su consulta también y puede darles toda la información que usted necesite, especialmente si usted ya asistió a una organización sin fines de lucro y está buscando ayuda directamente con el condado de Cook por medio de la corte. Por favor, no ponga su proceso de embargo en riesgo, venga a tomar una consulta y aquí con muchísimo gusto estaremos ayudándoles y dándoles la información que usted necesita. Volvemos en un momento más. Thank you, Attorney Matthew Wildermuth, for being here with us. Gracias a todos ustedes y volvemos en un segmento más de Su Casa, Su Futuro.
Este mensaje es para usted que tiene Medicare. ¿Está usted confundido con los cambios recientes en Medicare? ¿Le preocupa que los beneficios son menos, el deductible y su seguro incrementan y ya no puede con los altos costos de sus medicinas? Llame a Carolina Puente, agente certificada en planes de Medicare, 773-273-8178. Ella le asesorará a elegir un plan dentro de Medicare que se ajuste a sus necesidades. Carolina Puente le demostrará que sí hay opciones. Llame al área 773-273-8178. Una vez más, área 773-273-8178.
Claro que sí, Javier. Soy Carolina Puente, agente certificada en planes de Medicare y le espero en mi oficina. Llame, haga una cita.
Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Soy Alex Catalán. Si usted ha recibido una amenaza por parte de su banco que puede ser desalojado de su propiedad, si de alguna manera ha sufrido una disminución en su ingreso, si su casa necesita reparaciones y no puede refinanciar porque su casa no tiene el valor que necesita para cubrir su préstamo, este mensaje es para usted. En Illinois, más de una familia de 1,000 empiezan un proceso de embargo debido a que ya no pueden continuar con los pagos de su casa. Es importante que usted sepa que un proceso de embargo tiene pasos a seguir y deben de respetarse bajo la ley. Nosotros le vamos a ofrecer toda la información que usted necesita referente a las reestructuraciones de préstamo y una defensa de embargo. Las consultas son completamente gratuitas, 24 horas, 7 días a la semana de información. Llame ya. Usted necesita ayuda y nosotros se la vamos a ofrecer. Llame ya.
Cientos de familias en el área de Chicago están luchando continuamente para hacer el pago de su hipoteca. Si usted se está atrasando con sus pagos, está en proceso de embargo o tiene ya una fecha de remate, necesita nuestra ayuda. Para informarse sobre todas las opciones disponibles, quizá esté a tiempo de salvar su casa, aunque ya le hayan negado la reestructuración de su préstamo o si ya está en el proceso de embargo, todavía le podemos ayudar. La consulta es gratis. No pierda sus ahorros de toda la vida tratando de salvar su casa. Usted necesita ayuda legal. Nuestros abogados cuentan con muchísima experiencia negociando exitosamente las reestructuraciones de préstamo. Estamos disponibles las 24 horas, 7 días a la semana. Llame ya.
Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Soy Alex Catalán. Si usted ha recibido una amenaza por parte de su banco que puede ser desalojado de su propiedad, si de alguna manera ha sufrido una disminución en su ingreso, si su casa necesita reparaciones y no puede refinanciar porque su casa no tiene el valor que necesita para cubrir su préstamo, este mensaje es para usted. En Illinois, más de una familia de 1,000 empiezan un proceso de embargo debido a que ya no pueden continuar con los pagos de su casa. Es importante que usted sepa que un proceso de embargo tiene pasos a seguir y deben de respetarse bajo la ley. Nosotros le vamos a ofrecer toda la información que usted necesita referente a las reestructuraciones de préstamo y una defensa de embargo. Las consultas son completamente gratuitas, 24 horas, 7 días a la semana de información. Llame ya. Usted necesita ayuda y nosotros se la vamos a ofrecer. Llame ya.
Gracias nuevamente por estar con nosotros aquí en su programa de Su Casa, Su Futuro. Tenemos al abogado Matthew Wildermuth aquí con nosotros. Y bueno, seguimos con las preguntas que son tantas y tantas. Quisiéramos que el tiempo nos alcanzara para poder verdaderamente saber más sobre este gran abogado. Así que bueno, vamos a preguntarle, abogado Matthew Wildermuth, ¿cuál es uno de los mayores miedos que puede presentar un propietario de casa mientras están haciendo el proceso de modificación? Sabemos que el ser sacados de la propiedad es uno de esos miedos tan grandes que ellos tienen. ¿Es eso posible? ¿Es esto legal?
Well, there have been a number of changes in the regulations that have happened over time during the early years of the foreclosure process, when there was also a federally sponsored workout plan, modification plan, the Making Home Affordable program. Eventually, there came to be rules that limited the number of things that a lender could do with a borrower who was in foreclosure if the borrower was at the same time trying to seek a modification. So early on, it was basically unregulated. It was the wild, wild west, and lenders were doing whatever they wanted. So that was a significant problem in the early days, and we had to find ways to protect the borrowers. Currently, there is no longer regulation. The regulations that work to fully protect a borrower when they were in the modification process, those expired at the end of 2016. To no one's surprise, the Trump administration did not extend those rules from the Obama administration, so there is, except in a couple of specific circumstances, no way to prevent the lender completely from trying to move forward with the foreclosure process. And the real risk there is that if you don't have someone who knows what the process should be, what the timing should be, how to defend against it, how to keep the lender, at bay and not winning while you're trying to get your work out, then, they can go forward. And while you think they're looking at your modification paperwork and your workout options, the lawyers in the court are running through and trying to get an order that allows them to sell the house and to eventually evict you. Now, one thing that is always true and always has been true is that the lender has absolutely no right to take possession of your house or to try and get you to leave under any circumstances until they have completed the foreclosure process and the judge gives them permission to do so. It doesn't matter whether the foreclosure's been going on for 2 months or 7 months or 5 years. Until that order is entered, called an order approving sale, which is the last step in the foreclosure process, the lender doesn't have a right to be on your property, to affect your rights in the property, to be talking to your neighbors and your friends about what's going on with your house, because they aren't in that position. And I don't know, I can't even count the number of times we've gotten phone calls from clients in the middle of a foreclosure process. We're working on a workout. Hey, somebody came in and changed the locks. Hey, someone was here saying we've got to be out in such and such a time. Or the sheriff's going to come and throw us out. No, they're not. They're not going to do that unless the lender has done everything they're supposed to do. But you know what? They get their wires crossed. People, show up in vans and start messing with their locks. If you don't know whether that's legal or not, if you don't know how to push back, it's intimidating, it's scary, and sometimes it's on purpose, sometimes it's not. But if you want to protect yourself from that, the way to do that is to bring somebody in, and I'd prefer it be me and my other lawyers that work with me. But at a minimum, it ought to be somebody.
Definitivamente esta información que nos acaba de dar el abogado Matthew Wildermuth es tan importante, ya que sabemos que los bancos siempre van a encontrar la manera de salirse de lo que son las reglas que les evitan o no les permiten continuar con el desalojamiento de su propiedad. Lo hemos visto aquí, como ya lo mencionó el abogado Matthew, tantas y tantas veces, tantas llamadas que hemos recibido de personas que no saben verdaderamente sus derechos como propietarios y se dejan intimidar por parte de los bancos, y desafortunadamente algunos hasta terminan pues abandonando sus propiedades sin que el proceso de embargo haya sido finalizado. Esta es la gran importancia, y por eso continuamos con la invitación a que usted marque ese número de teléfono. Si usted está con problemas de pagar su casa, si ya no puede continuar con sus pagos, no pierda su casa, no se deje intimidar. Usted tiene derechos y los programas para bajar sus pagos mensuales existen. Solo es cuestión de que usted levante ese teléfono y haga esa llamada con la cita y traer los documentos que se le piden para que usted pueda tener más información. Bueno, por último, queremos agradecerle al abogado Matthew Wildermuth y queremos preguntarle cuál es el mensaje que el abogado Matthew Wildermuth tiene para la comunidad hispana.
I would say the most important thing to keep in mind is that there is help out there. When it comes to foreclosure and dealing with the lenders, we've got 9 years of experience dealing with all the kinds of things the lenders do, all the kinds of things the courts do in the process, and you have to know both sides to really be effective. You also have to know what is the impact of a bankruptcy, what is the impact of a divorce, what is the impact of the house having belonged to someone else and now you're living there and paying the note, but your name's not on it. Those are tough things to work your way through, and you got to know what buttons to push. But the one thing, come in and talk to us. We provide a free initial consultation. We'll tell you what we see and what we would propose to do to help you. That is probably the most important message, is there's help out there. We know what we're doing. We can make a difference, and we'd like a chance to try.
Thank you so much for being here with us. I'm really looking forward to have you here again.
Sure.
Muchísimas gracias a todos ustedes. Nos despedimos. Los invitamos a que no se pierdan sus segmentos de Su Casa, Su Futuro. Y nuevamente queremos agradecer al abogado Matthew Wildermuth. Thank you so much for being here. Gracias a todos ustedes y nos vemos aquí el próximo fin de semana.